Hello everyone, today we have another video review. As you can see, this is not a live review, but it is going to be an interesting one. As you can see, it is Eduard kit, which is molded in 1/48 scale. It copies P-51D-5 Mustang, and it is a Profipack edition. So as you remember, previous release, or actually the first one, was called Chattanooga Choo Choo, and it was a limited edition, which was sold out quite fast, I would say. But now we have a normal Profipack kit, which should be freely available even right now at the moment on the official Eduard website. So we are going to check it closer. And this is a commercial sample, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you will see here. So, first of all, this version is slightly different from what we've had in Chattanooga Choo Choo because of the marking options. Also, there are, I would say, fewer marking options, and of course it should be cheaper than Chattanooga Choo Choo. And right at the same time as this kit, there will be also some resin releases, so basically you can get this Profipack together with all resin and build some quite nice copy of the Mustang in 1/48 scale. On the box art here we have a nice painting, I would say. It would be cool to have it as a poster as well. Then on this side we have actually 6 marking options, so it's basically the same amount as in Chattanooga Choo Choo. By the way, here you can see the kit number, which can help you to find this kit on the official Eduard website. So it is easy to notice that we have silver aircraft and also one green, but we will discuss it a bit later when we will be checking the marking guide. Here on the other side you can see that it was made in Czech Republic, surprise surprise. It is also officially licensed product from the Boeing, and that's pretty much all. So we can move on to what is hidden inside this box. This is a top opening box, which is a typical format for the Eduard Profipack. I would say that size of the box is also quite standard. So what do we have here? As you can see, we have plastic bags. There are several plastic bags with various sprues. Actually, in total there are 3 of them. We are going to start with this one, and then gradually we will move to grey plastic and other stuff. So here we have the Ziploc bag with clear sprue. This one is molded in circular shape, just like any other recent release from Eduard. And here you can see canopy parts. So because this is a 1/48 scale kit, we have separate canopy parts so that you can open the cockpit on your model. And molding quality looks really good. We have the target sight, for example, here as well, position lights. And because this is a Profipack, we have masks included. You will see them further in this video, but it means that you won't have to waste your time while trying to cover this complex shape of the teardrop canopy. Okay. Next we have plastic bag with a grey plastic sprue, and I'm not sure, frankly speaking, why it is separated into the separate plastic bag, but here it is. Sprue with wing parts and also the tail surfaces. So just give me a sec to remove the plastic bag aside. So what do we have here? First of all, we have wing parts, which are quite big. Here you can see comparison with my hand, which are detailed in a typical style for recent releases from Eduard. It means recessed panel lines and riveting. We also have the separate ailerons and flaps, as far as you can see, which is really cool because you won't have to buy the separate P parts for this. Tail surfaces should be replicated with 2 halves. As you can see, tail wings are glued from 2 halves, and then we have also elevators which are molded separately. Here inside we have guiding pins. They should help you with alignment, and also note these large pins which should keep the right let's say shape or the volume of the wing, which is not as easy as it sounds to be, because usually manufacturers just do not provide you with any elements to help with this. Here we have another plastic bag. This one is a bit more busy with plastic frames. So again, one moment. And we are going to start with this plastic sprue. So here we have only 3 parts, which is quite surprising, especially this empty space is a bit strange in my opinion. Nevertheless, here we have both fuselage halves which are molded together with tail segment, and note that top cowling area is also pre-molded, so you have to be careful while joining them together. Again, recessed panel lines and riveting is present here. At least frontal section of the air intake is molded separately so that you won't have any seams in this area. And if we flip it over, here you can see that inside we have some guiding pins which will be helpful with alignment, and of course those tabs will be used for cockpit elements. We can zoom in a bit more. Now you should be able to see this fuselage half here, and here you can see it from another side. So again, external detailing looks really good, and I do not have any complaints about this stuff. So the only thing which will be required from you is to do really nice paint work and maybe replicate some weathering on those parts. Next we have sprue with various minor elements. Here I can see that it is mostly concerned with air intake and wheel wells. So we have here, for example, landing gear doors. Those parts obviously will be used for wheel wells, those ones for air intake, and I would suggest to zoom in order to see all this stuff closer. Of course, landing gear wheels can be replaced with brass-in kit, and if you want to get a really detailed model, I would recommend to do so. Here you can see landing gear wheel wells parts, landing gear doors, several types of the exhausts. By the way, exhaust can be replaced with resin as well. And overall molding quality seems to be fine, and I can say that amount of the attachment points was reduced where it is possible. So for example, here we have landing gear leg only on 2 attachment points. The same can be said about this main landing gear leg, which is really cool in my opinion, because it will simplify the whole assembly process. Next we have another sprue. This one already comes with cockpit parts. So for example, here you can see the cockpit walls, cockpit floor, also combing panels, instrument panels, rear armor wall, I would say. Also here we have fuel tank and pilot seat, which is molded as a one-piece part, and several types of the propeller, several types of the propeller hub. Here is control stick, but it is worth checking them closer, so we are going to zoom in. Here you can see them in detail. Frankly speaking, it is a bit surprising to see that manufacturer decided to separate propeller just like this, so keep it in mind. Here you can see the fuel tank, which is attached on 2 attachment points, and as you can see, because of the tight packaging, it is slightly bent inside, but it's not that huge issue, which is really what is really cool. As you can see here in the pilot seat, we have throughout holes, so you won't have to drill anything. Then we continue with thin parts for fine detailing of the cockpit. Here are the cockpit walls, also instrument panels. Again, instrument panels are provided in several options as far as you can see, or maybe these are several versions. Then we continue with those rudder pedals, propeller hubs, and here you can see quite thin control stick, which is molded on 1 attachment point, and this attachment point is placed from the bottom, which is really cool. It means you won't have to waste your time with this stuff. By the way, here we have the plain instrument panels for usage of the decals and P parts, in case you are not that huge fan of actually, if you are not that huge fan of plastic parts. Okay, here we have last gray plastic sprue. This one is dedicated to external equipment, what means that here we have fuel tanks, bombs, also missiles, and it's really cool that we have it out of the box. Obviously all parts won't be used, so some of them will stay for your spare parts box, and you can use them in the next project. If you flip it over here, you can see that we have guiding pins, which will help you with proper alignment of those parts together. Next we have various bonuses which are typical for the Profipack. So first one is mask sheet. This one will be used for the canopy, and I can say that there are also masks for the landing gear ports. You'll see it in assembly manual. Next we have another small plastic bag with P thread, so let's open it. This one should be opened because here we have something to show. So first of all, these parts will be designed for use, or are designed for use with Cockpit. As you can see, we have glazing on the instrument panel, which should replicate glasses on the dials. Of course, we have also here the seat belts and some of the external parts. For example, here you can see the air intake mesh. For out of the box bonus, it is really nice to have this thing. But obviously, if you would like to have more, you can resort to separately sold piece set from Eduard, or maybe just buy a Brasin set for the cockpit. It will be quite an extreme measure, but it will significantly change the appearance of the cockpit. Here we have another separate plastic bag, and this one should be interesting because Eduard promised that they will adapt the new printing technology in this Mustang release. And it should be interesting to see how it looks, because they promised that decals will be quite thin, even thinner than what they had before from cartograph and from their own printing machines. So here you can see one and only decals sheet. We have this special line, dotted line, which should be used in order to separate the stencils, and this is 1/48 scale, so you will have to apply all the stencils. Also here we have some decals for the cockpit, so in case you are not that huge fan of the P parts, you can use them. But printing quality seems to be fine. I can bring it closer so that you can see those tiny symbols closer. Really nice printing, and I hope that they will be easy to apply on the model. Okay, and last but not the least is this thing. This is assembly manual, which is printed in typical Eduard style, I would say. So here we have, let's zoom it like this. Here we have color printing with short history note in English language here on the first page. Then on the next one we have parts map, and note that there are many parts that won't be used for this particular version of the aircraft, so be ready to store them. Everything starts with this armor wall, and then we continue with cockpit assembly. Then we assemble the cockpit walls here. We continue with another cockpit wall here. Then we install all this stuff inside, and note that tail landing gear wheel well will be assembled out of two halves, which are inserted in both fuselage halves, so keep it in mind. Here we work on the main wheel well, and as you can see, it should be quite a complex assembly. I wouldn't say that it is difficult, but it will employ a lot of parts, so be sure to paint them all and to install them into the right places. Then we continue by joining the wing part together with fuselage. Here we install the tail surfaces. Here is the installation of the combing panel together with instrument panel and together with rudder pedals, which is quite unusual in my opinion. We are all used to see that cockpit, when it is inside the fuselage, it is already together with instrument panel, and pedals, of course, they're inside. Then here we install the tail landing gear leg together with wheel. Here you will have to choose between those grills, so be sure to have the right part, because as you can see, F marking will use this G58 part, which is just a plain metal. Here we have one piece frontal section of the air intake. The same can be said about the main air intake. Then here we continue work on the main landing gear wheels and legs. Here you assemble the ailerons. Actually, those should be flaps because we have ailerons in place, but note that we have masks for the landing gear wheels. I think that's for the tail one. Then we continue with installation of those flaps into the place. Here you install landing gear doors. Propeller assembly is here. Again, you have to choose the right option for the exhaust, because as you can see, marking B uses different one. Then we continue with installation of all this stuff on the model, and on the final step you have to choose if you would like to use the fuel tanks on your aircraft. Then we have the marking guide, which is printed in color. Paint numbers are provided in Gunze designations, and this aircraft comes from United Kingdom, August 1945. As you can see, it is finished in olive drop, so it should be quite unusual marking, I would say, for Mustang, because we are all used to see Mustang in this color. And this is aircraft from United Kingdom, September 1944. Next one is also from September 1944 and features these nice paint splashes which are used for the nose art. And as you can see, top part is completely olive drop, which is also quite unusual in my opinion. Then we continue with this checkered marking option. It's August 1944 and it was based in Italy. Here you can see also some writing on the nose section, from both sides by the way. Then we have this blue-nosed aircraft with, which was based in United Kingdom in June 1944, and the last marking option comes from United Kingdom, July 1944. It is also blue-nosed. I wouldn't say that it is that interesting as, for example, this one, so it will be your choice, but be sure to choose the interesting one. Here you can see also the aluminium lacquer painted areas, so that you have the right painting, because I know some models which are just painting whole model with chrome paint and are sitting happy, but it is not like this, so be sure to use the right guide. And here on the last page we have the stencils application guide, which was created in cooperation with Fun Decals. It should be a bit tedious process, but final result will be worth it, so do not skip this stage. It's worth investing time in all this stuff. So, as I said before, this kit should be already available on official Eduard website. I will be happy to hear your opinion here in the comment section below. Just write what do you think about this new plastic. Of course, if you like this video, just press the like button, because it helps us greatly and it shows that you appreciate what we are doing. You can also click the subscribe button so that you won't miss any new video review and live streams. And I would like to thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video review as usual. Bye.